Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 10.
I need you to subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Blair, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Whitney planned a potluck in honor of Britney. Angie is giving the ladies Britney's high body count hair. Everybody except for Mary. Mary said, don't touch my hair.
That's true. Listen here, I'm just letting you know this. Hey, I don't like that girl like that.
And the only people that aren't there are Meredith and Lisa. So they surprise Britney when she walks in. Bronwyn brought a little Build-A-Bear station for all of them to make a recorded animal for Britney in honor of her throwing Britney's stuffed animal overboard.
Yeah.
So everyone says something nice, but Mary didn't say anything in hers because she's still warming up to Britney. Apparently they had an issue on the boat where Britney told Mary she wasn't Christ-like.
Well.
So Whitney said that Meredith crossed a line and it'll be hard for her to come back from that. Bronwyn shares Meredith played everything down, and Heather says Lisa is crazy. She's rewriting history.
Yeah.
If they don't take accountability, Britney doesn't see herself moving forward with them. Whitney notices that Bronwyn isn't wearing her wedding ring, and Bronwyn shares that Todd left the house a couple of days ago. He was looking, apparently, as we know, at a girl on his phone. He was caught looking on his phone at some picture that he got. He was defensive, and Bronwyn told him to leave, and she's open to having an arrangement if they could just talk about it.
Let's talk about the ending part real quick about Bronwyn and Todd. Do you think they go get a divorce?
I can see it coming.
Dude, you think she's brave enough to actually divorce Todd?
If she can get something in the settlement, for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if they had a prenup, post-nup situation, if maybe that expires after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see Bronwyn doing it. It's weird because I don't really like talking about people's relationships and the fact like if they love each other, because I feel like that's something between the two of them, but the dynamic of it just feels not so much of like love and equal partnership, but I have to respect him and his situation in order for me to continue this lifestyle is kind of how it appears. So
but besides that, what is your thoughts on like the scene?
Yeah, overall, I thought the scene was really funny. I liked everybody was, pretty comfortable with messing their hair up and having a good laugh. And it seemed like everyone, rallied around Britney, especially since it seems like she took, a beating, pretty much, verbal beating from Meredith and Lisa. So I was glad that they could kind of spin it into something positive. But I will say that Britney still has her stuff with her, and let's not act like she's our best friend just because.
Thank you.
just because somebody went in on her. Okay.
Yeah. To answer my question, no, she's not going to divorce Todd, in my opinion. I think she's flirting with the idea. There's something about Housewives where they get on the show, it becomes a successful show, then all of a sudden you got your paycheck. It's probably her first own paycheck she's been getting in a while. The show is very successful. She probably just sees like, life can be very good. You get what I'm saying? But I haven't seen enough courage from Bronwyn. Even from the whole idea of her saying, look, I'm willing to do an arrangement. Is that her way of trying to put her toe in divorce? Like basically saying, look, even though she has a problem with this whole Todd looking at somebody on the phone and things of that nature, I'm like, are you people pleasing with the arrangement or do you really want to be monogamous and things like that? I find it very, what's the word? Like lukewarm. Even.
I don't know. It kind of feels like she's trying to find any way to stay in the marriage, and she's just trying to make him happy.
Maybe, but my thing is make him happy.
Yeah.
But what do you want? Do you get what I'm saying? As in, that's why I'm like, I don't know if she had the courage to get divorced fully, because I think to your point, she just saying arrangement because I think that's enough middle of the road. I think I could trick myself into liking this, but really I don't want to be in an arrangement marriage or basically in some situation to where we inviting other women in. To your point about Britney, Britney was not physically assaulted.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? The chair that she was sitting in probably was physically assaulted and things of that nature.
Depending on who you ask.
Yes, right? And the only thing that really got assaulted was the stuffed unicorn that they threw overboard, right?
Yeah.
So I do understand why everybody want to do something nice for her, but I'm kind of like Mary. I'm kind of like, I kind of don't like the girl. I kind of don't really respect her values. You get what I'm saying? She over here telling me I need to be more God-like or Christ-like, but yet let's talk about how you are a mother. You get what I'm saying? Like that's strange. Now Heather, I gotta talk about Heather a little bit, even though I'm a fan of Heather this season. Heather, you have an angle this season, and I'm peeking you. See, episode after episode, I'm peeking Heather's angle. Meredith was the main aggressor in this. You don't need to talk about Lisa and how crazy she is and how she's rewriting history. Meredith is the target, and I just feel like Heather is the one that's be like, hey, let's not forget Lisa too. So Heather, I see your angle, and I'm not mad at it, but I see what you're doing.
So Mary and Robert Jr. go to the church. The renovations are done and they will be opening their doors soon.
Yeah.
She asks him where he is spiritually, and he talks about how he went to AA. He knew who his higher power was. And Mary tells him that if you don't have help from that higher power, you will stay in the dark.
Yeah.
He says that all the people that he was cool with ended up relapsing, and Mary encourages him to tell them to pray. You don't have to force it. Just drop a nugget with them. She is going to invite the ladies to the church because everyone needs Jesus.
Everybody needs Jesus.
And I always love the scenes with Mary and her son, because I feel like this is the most, I don't know, I feel like Mary is genuine all the time, but I feel like the softness in Mary when she's around her son, like she really loves and adores that kid. And I just want him to be better, especially just the way that Mary like loves and cares for him. Like has such a great support in his mother. And I know that he knows it, which is one of the reasons why he said that he didn't unalive himself, is because of his mother's love. So that's one thing that I really appreciate when I see their time together. So
yeah, but as much as we may want the best for Robert Jr., things have come out in the news since the show been on about he's been arrested and things like that, and hopefully things are good with him now in real time. But he's sick. Yeah. Dude, you get what I'm saying? And as long as he keeps going to AA, as long as he keeps getting professional help, as long as he have the backing of his mom and things of that nature, I think he has the backing, but at the end of the day, he is dealing with a disease, right? Yeah. And also, it's not, I'm hearing what you just said about, hey, the friends that I was cool with, they all relapsed. So how good is your backing if his everyday village or his everyday environment is basically falling apart as well?
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, so that's why I'm like, I think Robert is in a situation, and like I said, I don't know nothing about dealing with this at all. Usually, you gotta extract people from that whole environment altogether. And when I say environment, like he may need to move. Like basically like anything and everything that's familiar to him in that city and things like that, he may have to move. That's why like whenever I hear him talk about like he's dealing with a disease while at the same time he's dealing with wanting to be accepted. That's why he's talking to his old friends and basically friends that get high and friends that got problems too.
But what he's saying is the friends that he's made in recovery, those people have relapsed. So I mean, and maybe because I haven't had personal experience with it, maybe this is actually what progression looked like. Because, it's not linear.
Yeah. Maybe it looks like, you know what? I did become friends with these people. I get to see how people relapse and get back on the horse. Maybe it is take a step forward, take 2 steps back, take 3 steps forward, take 1 step forward, take 2 steps back. Maybe that's going to be his life forever. And maybe we need to see how that looks and how the program actually caters to the people that may relapse so they can stay, having a good quality of life, know?
Now, Lisa and John go out to eat. Lisa talks about how John irritated her in the car when she was trying to tell Henry her thoughts. John says, were you telling him your thoughts or how to think? He corrected Lisa, and she doesn't want to be corrected, especially in front of Henry, because Henry starts getting to correct her as well. She feels alone in her marriage. She doesn't feel validated in her feelings, and she doesn't feel like she's heard. Yeah. And John says sometimes she doesn't listen, and she says that he doesn't listen.
Okay, so nobody listening. Okay.
Honestly, John tells her most of the time he doesn't listen. He laughs when she starts saying that she's a great listener, laughs in her face, y'all. Yeah. Lisa doesn't feel like they're on the same page, and John says, it just seems like you want me on your page. He thinks that the problem is that all they talk about is business. There's nothing else to talk about. Him saying that hurts her feelings, and she feels like they talk about everything, but he isn't as affectionate as he used to be. So apparently they're just not seeing each other right now, and he agrees that they are having a communication breakdown.
I have a saying that I kind of just made up the other day, right? So I don't expect you to know it, wife, right? Okay. Everybody wants to be liked. Everyone has a desire to be liked, right? But it's also on you to be likable, right? Lisa, I understand you want to be liked, you want to be respected and things of that nature, but are you giving what you want back? Are you likable? You get what I'm saying? I can see how you are amongst your friends. You're not very likable, right? Because you kind of treat the way you kind of walk around as if you're the big dog. You kind of walk that way in your marriage. And at the same time, you want him to respect the fact, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're a bull, but you're like a fragile bull. So it's like, no, if you want to be liked, you have to be likable. If you want to be listened to and things of that nature, you have to listen to me. You get what I'm saying? It just feels like Lisa's the type of person to bulldoze over everybody to get her way. And the minute that somebody show any type of resistance, now all of a sudden you're not a great listener. These are my feelings. Handle me with care type of person.
Yeah, I feel like Lisa just can't see past her nose.
Yeah.
It's all about her. She can't even take any type of constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was surprised. I feel like we never really hear much from John. So to actually hear his perspective of Lisa and their dynamic was kind of shocking to me, because I always just thought he was just quiet and just let her run the show. Mm-hmm. And I think he is quiet, lets her run the show, but he does have opinions. Yeah. And even though it's kind of crazy to laugh in her face, I think Lisa needs that sometimes. I feel like she takes herself very seriously and she doesn't consider the people around her. And I know it's hurtful to her to hear her husband say all we have is business to talk about, but unless somebody tells her straight up, she's not going to get the reality. Even if somebody tells her, I still feel like she's going to create whatever rendition in her head to make herself feel better. But I was actually interested to hear John speak on his thoughts.
Yeah, like Lisa. The thing about Lisa that we learned this season, remember that whole, when like she had that whole not guilty whole luncheon and things like that, to where she was trying to show off that, hey, all these cases I'm innocent. When it was time to apologize to Bronwyn, she didn't do that in front of the girls. She had a separate outing to where, you know what, I'm going to apologize to you. I'm not going to let nobody know and things like that. That lets me know she don't know how to apologize in her own relationship.
Right.
And truth be told, you can really disarm somebody and make somebody guard come down if you actually talk about, besides talking about the problems in a relationship, actually take accountability for the wrong that you may have done, or even the wrong that may be translated by the other person. So the person may be like, you know what, I'm sorry, Blair, for any type of miscommunication, or if you ever felt like I did this way, that's not my intention. My intention is that we have a good, loving marriage, and tell me the ways that I can improve in that. Instead of you telling me what's wrong with me. Right. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Ask me what's wrong with you. Right. So then you can actually take that back and be like, you know what, I will work on this. Mm-hmm. And then maybe he would actually open up and not only talk about business with you, you know? So
we move on to Britney and Jared. Yeah. He reached out to her, even though they're supposed to be on this break, to check on her after everything that went on the plane. Mm-hmm. But when he sees her, he brings up the fact that she was flirting with other men on the ship. Well, she doesn't see why he cares, because they were on a break. Mm-hmm. So Jared thought that they were trying to work through things. She always runs, and he's looking for somebody stable. She has always wanted a committed relationship with him, but he has never been able to commit. Yeah. So she ends up walking away. He goes after her. She cries and says that she doesn't know what they're doing. She asks him, what are they doing? And he just wants to figure things out. He never gives her a straight answer. And then he tells her if she wants him to be her boyfriend, she has to be stable longer than 5 minutes.
Mind you, this is boyfriend. This is not no like marriage or anything like that. She's doing all this for a boyfriend. It's not worth it, Britney. Like,
I think it's both of them. I think that she's deeply unstable. She definitely puts her husband before her children, and not her husband, her men, her on and off.
Exactly.
And Jared, even though I do feel like he probably has a commitment issue, I think that he probably is wishy-washy with her. The fact that he couldn't give her a straight answer as far as what he wanted. I think that he enjoys seeing Britney go up, and be unstable at times.
Yeah.
So I think that it's both of them.
He's not a stable foundation. And that's why Mary probably don't respect Britney in that way. That you're willing to throw your real relationships, even with your own blood, on and not even build on that over a boyfriend, over a unstable, toxic relationship that both of y'all are doing. That's why I'm like, Britney, you're doing a lot by even going after this guy. Jared knows what he's doing, and he's just basically toying with your emotions and things like that.
Yep. So we move on to Bronwyn and Todd. She has some insecurities within their relationship because Todd was caught texting other women in the past. But she wants to continue to evolve with him in their marriage. Todd says that they've been together for 11 years. There's been a lot of ups and downs. They've been able to work through things, and he admits that he was wrong, and he's happy to be in the relationship that they have. He is not looking to create an arrangement within the marriage.
Nice.
She tells Todd that she spoke to Whitney about their sex life, which is not something that he feels like is anyone's business, but she feels like she needs to have friends that she can confide in. Todd thinks that what matters is that they talked about it. Now they can move forward. I just feel like the relationship won't get better if the dynamics don't change. I feel like Bronwyn just feels powerless within her marriage, and I don't know if Todd is necessarily doing that or just the fact that he's providing the lifestyle that puts her in that situation. I do think that it's important to have friends to confide in, but I also feel like a lot of things don't need to be discussed with your friends. If you're having an issue within your marriage that could cause your marriage dynamic to change, whereas arranging it, opening it up, getting a divorce, I think that's more so for a counselor and your partner. I think that certain things you don't need to let people in while you're trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Here's the thing about it. Could Todd be a better supporter in this marriage to Bronwyn? Yes. Right? But maybe it's just me. Do you feel like the show is kind of the source of their problems for right now?
I think that's what they're focusing on, yes, but I think there's other problems.
Yeah.
But
I think Todd is going to use the show as a scapegoat to not really like his wife. You get what I'm saying? He's finding reasons to basically be like, look, this is why this is happening. So when she was telling him, or basically when they were having a discussion, and she's like, yeah, I shared our sex life with Whitney and things like that. I was like, why did you tell him that? Because he's already not a fan of the show. He already feel like all of y'all are messy. He already feel like you be trying to appease these people, trying to people please these people, and that you're trying to fit in, right? So I just feel like she keeps giving him ammo, not to basically push him away, but to make this show a scapegoat, right? To basically be like, you see, last time you got in trouble because you lied about buying that necklace and things like that. And now you over here trying to be friends with Lisa. You realize Lisa ain't a good person. And now you over here talking about us. I barely film. Why are you talking about me?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to say that the show is the reason why their marriage is what it is, but I do feel like Todd is going to use the show as a scapegoat of basically be like, you know what, Bronwyn, you changed. You are not the same woman that you was before this show and things like that, and that's probably why I'm doing what I'm doing. And that's why I'm like, I don't know how true that is, but he's definitely going to use that excuse.
So it is the day for church. Robert Jr. is not coming because he relapsed.
Okay.
That's unfortunate, but Mary is still pushing along and moving forward with the day.
Yes.
Whitney tells Heather that this is going to be a very lively church, not quiet like the Mormon church. And Whitney's honestly surprised to be invited back since she called Mary a cult leader back in the day.
Well, here's the thing. I think a documentary is going to come out featuring Mary soon. So we will all find out what and who she is.
Meredith and Lisa do end up showing up. Mary does her sermon, and she talks about how she wasn't invited to her mom's funeral.
Yeah.
She was more worried about her mom's soul. Your soul is what matters, and you have to do what's right in this life, and God will give you what you need. She is going through the list and saying all her friends, all the ladies on the show, what God is going to give them, and God is going to give Lisa a sound mind. Lisa says she doesn't know. She doesn't really have any discriminations when it comes to the tequila donation. She does donate to the Church of Satan. Well, then I saw something online to where the Church of Satan said that they have never requested tequila from Lisa. Okay. So I don't know if that was real, but I thought it was really funny.
We still working on that sound mind for Lisa.
I thought that sound mind, even though I don't even know, I can't even say where it came from with Mary, but it was hilarious. I was just like, that is so funny because it's so true.
Yeah. Listen here, right? Y'all know I'm new to this season. This is my first season of reviewing this show. And once Blair gave me the background of what's actually going on with the whole Mary thing and how Mary kind of took her mother's ex-husband and really is her step-grandfather, still grandfather to me, that's what I hear. I understand you're worried about her soul, but I'm kind of worried about like the normality of that. Mary is still one of my favorites, but I had to knock her down a couple pegs because that's kind of new to me, right? I had to move Heather up to number one. But overall, I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny how they brought up her being a cult leader and things like that. And I'm just like, well, it's just a black church in Utah. You get what I'm saying? Like who knows? You get what I'm saying? But we will see. What is your thoughts on the scene? Is that basically it?
Yeah, I mean, I did like seeing Angie greeting all of like Mary's family and stuff like that. I thought it was cool just to see like their friendship is a real friendship and it's really genuine. And I mean, the church was popping. It was very lively. That's all I really got to say.
Well, that's what they usually say about cult leaders, that they have a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
You know, but we will see. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. We see you.
Bye.